Welcome to the Soul Dark Romance Stories. The channel will bring you stories of strong bonds, cultural differences, passionate love, and unforgettable dramatic events. If you love interracial love stories and cinematic storytelling, then this is the place for you. Enjoy listening. Please subscribe to the channel to hear more great stories. I watched a room full of powerful men go silent because of a ring on my finger. And in that moment, I realized the most dangerous man in Las Vegas thought I belonged to someone else. My name is Autumn Reed, and I run operations at a luxury hotel that does not officially exist on any ownership record. On paper, it is a 5-star destination for politicians, donors, and celebrities. In reality, it belongs to Sun Woo Baek, a man who owns more than buildings. He owns leverage, secrets, and the kind of fear that makes people smile while they lie. For a year, I have worked under him, and for a year, I have felt his eyes on me like he is trying to solve a puzzle that refuses to be solved. I tell myself it is professional. I tell myself it is nothing. That is a lie. The night everything changes starts like any other high-profile event. Crystal glasses, low music, soft laughter that hides sharp intentions. I move through the room, checking details, fixing problems before they exist. That is my job. Control the chaos. I am good at it. I have to be. Then I feel it. His gaze. It lands on my hand. I do not even think about the ring at first. It is my grandmother's. Worn gold, slightly imperfect, shaped by a life longer than mine. I wear it because it fits. That is all. But when I look up, Sun Woo is no longer calm. His expression hardens, his jaw tightens, and the temperature in the room seems to drop. Conversations falter. People notice. They always notice when he shifts. Later, behind closed doors, he asks me one question. His voice is low, controlled, but there is something under it. Something sharp. He asks if I am engaged. I laugh before I can stop myself. It feels ridiculous. He does not laugh. He steps closer, slow, deliberate, like every inch matters. The air turns heavy. I explain the ring. Family heirloom. Wrong finger. No man. Simple. It should end there. It does not. His eyes search mine like he does not believe me, like the idea of another man touching me has already taken root and refuses to leave. From that moment on, everything changes. He becomes colder in public, distant in ways that feel calculated. Then suddenly attentive, almost too attentive. It is inconsistent, and that makes it worse. I catch whispers about him looking into a man from my church choir. A harmless man. Or at least I thought he was harmless. Now I am not sure. In this city, harmless is just a word people use before something goes wrong. And then someone congratulates me on my engagement. Not kindly, not casually. The words come with a smile that does not reach his eyes. He leans in just enough for me to hear the threat beneath the politeness. Brides become widows here all the time. I stand still, my pulse loud in my ears. And for the first time, I understand what my boss has done. He did not just misunderstand a ring. He turned me into a target. So tell me, if the most dangerous man in the room thinks you belong to someone else, what would you do to survive? The next morning, I wake up with the feeling that something invisible has shifted, like the city itself has decided to hold its breath. I tell myself I am overthinking it, but the moment I step into the hotel, I know I am not. People look at me differently. Not openly, not enough to call it out, but enough that I feel it in the pauses between their words, in the way conversations dip when I walk past. I keep moving, clipboard in hand, posture straight, face neutral. Control the chaos. That is still my job. But this is not the kind of chaos I can fix with a phone call or a signature. By noon, I confirm what I already suspect. Sun Woo has started digging. Quietly, efficiently, and without leaving fingerprints. The man from my church choir, Daniel, has been flagged in 3 different internal reports that I was never supposed to see. Background checks, financial scans, surveillance notes that are written in the same cold, precise tone I have seen used on enemies. I stare at the screen in my office, my fingers hovering over the keyboard, and feel something tighten in my chest. Daniel is kind. He sings off key and laughs at his own mistakes. He helped an elderly woman carry groceries last Sunday. That is the man being investigated like a threat. I close the file and lean back, forcing myself to breathe slowly. This is not about Daniel. It was never about Daniel. It is about possession, about territory. In Sun Woo's world, nothing exists without ownership, and the idea that I might belong to someone else has triggered something primal and dangerous. I should confront him. I should demand that he stop. But I already know how that conversation would go. He would listen. He would nod. And then he would continue, just more carefully. Instead, he pulls away. In public, he treats me like I am just another employee again. No lingering looks. No quiet tension. Just distance so sharp it feels intentional. And then, as if to make a point, he starts appearing with a woman on his arm. She is beautiful in the way magazines approve of. Perfect dress, perfect smile, perfect timing. She laughs at everything he says. He lets her touch him. I watch it happen from across a ballroom filled with people who pretend not to notice. My stomach twists in a way I refuse to name. Let that sink in. A man who built an empire on control is now performing indifference like it is a weapon. And somehow, it works. The problem is not what he is doing to me. The problem is what it signals to everyone else. In this city, distance means weakness. It means a crack in the armor. And cracks invite pressure. It happens 3 nights later. A private event, smaller, more intimate, the kind where real conversations happen behind polite smiles. I am overseeing the floor when a man approaches me. I recognize him immediately. Not a guest. Not really. He is connected to one of the rival groups that pretend they are legitimate businesses. His suit is expensive, but his eyes are not. They are calculating, amused, like he already knows something I do not. He congratulates me on my engagement. I give him the same explanation I gave Sun Wu. Family ring. No fiancé. Simple. He listens, nodding slowly, but there is something in his expression that does not change. He steps closer, just enough that his voice does not carry. His smile stays in place, but the warmth disappears completely. He tells me that misunderstandings can be dangerous in a city like this. That men who think they are losing something tend to make mistakes. And women caught in the middle tend to suffer for it. Then he adds, almost casually, that brides become widows here all the time. My pulse spikes, but I do not move. I do not give him the reaction he wants. I thank him for his concern in the same calm tone I use for difficult clients, and I walk away without looking back. My hands stay steady until I reach the service corridor. The moment the door swings shut behind me, the quiet hits me like a wave. My fingers curl into my palms, nails pressing into skin, grounding me. This is no longer a misunderstanding. It is a narrative, and it is spreading. I find Sun Wu an hour later. He is in his office, standing by the window that overlooks the strip, the city glowing beneath him like something he owns. He does not turn when I enter. He already knows it is me. He always does. I close the door behind me, the sound sharp in the silence, and for a second, I consider choosing my words carefully. Then I remember the threat, the smile that did not reach those man's eyes, and I stop pretending. I tell him everything. The congratulations. The implication. The word widow hanging in the air like a verdict. He listens without interrupting, his posture still, his expression unreadable. But I see it. The shift. Subtle, controlled, but there. The temperature in the room drops again, just like it did the night he saw the ring. When I finish, he finally turns. His gaze locks onto mine, and for a moment, the distance he has been performing disappears completely. He steps closer, slow and deliberate, until the space between us feels intentional again. His voice, when he speaks, is low, almost calm, but there is something under it that makes my pulse stutter. He says my name like it belongs to him. Then he tells me the truth. Not all of it. Not yet. But enough. He tells me that the moment he thought another man had claimed me, something in him snapped. That he has spent the last few days trying to contain it, trying to act like it did not matter. That it does. More than it should. More than is safe. I should be angry. I should walk out. Instead, I stand there, caught between fear and something that feels dangerously close to understanding. Because in his world, weakness does not just get you hurt. It gets you destroyed. And right now, I am starting to realize that I am not just standing next to his weakness. I am it. The room feels smaller the moment he says it, like the walls have leaned in just enough to listen. I do not step back when he closes the distance between us, but every instinct in my body sharpens. He watches me the way he always does when something matters, like he is measuring not just what I say, but what I hide. He tells me he has been holding himself back, that he has been careful not to touch me, not to cross a line that cannot be uncrossed. Then he says something that settles deep in my chest and refuses to move. The second he does, he will never let me go. I let the silence stretch because I need it. I need space to think, to feel, to understand what standing here actually means. I tell him I am not afraid of him. The words come out steady, even though my pulse is anything but. His expression does not soften. If anything, it darkens. He tells me I should be, not as a threat, as a fact. In his world, nothing is simple, and nothing comes without consequence. If people believe I matter to him, they will use me. They will test him. They will try to break him through me. I tell him about the man again, about the way the threat was delivered like a courtesy. This time, he does not just listen. This time, something in him moves. It is subtle, controlled, but it is there. A decision being made. His hand lifts slightly, like he is about to reach for me, then stops midair. That restraint tells me more than anything else he has said. He is not afraid of what he will do to me. He is afraid of what he will become if he allows himself to want me openly. The rest happens fast. Faster than I expect. Faster than I can fully process. Security around me changes overnight. Not obvious, not enough to alarm guests, but enough that I notice. New faces. Different rotations. People positioned just a little too carefully in the spaces I move through most. I am never alone anymore, even when it looks like I am. It should make me feel safe. Instead, it reminds me that I have been placed at the center of something I did not agree to. And then comes the gala. It is the kind of event the city thrives on. Charity, money, cameras, power wrapped in the illusion of goodwill. The ballroom is transformed into something almost unreal. Light reflecting off glass and polished surfaces. Every detail designed to impress. Politicians, donors, executives, all gathered under one roof, all pretending they are here for the same reason. I move through it the way I always do, efficient, composed, invisible when I need to be. But tonight I feel it. The attention, the awareness. People are watching more closely. I spot him across the room. Sun Wu stands surrounded by men who hold influence in public and secrets in private. He looks exactly the way he always does. Controlled. Untouchable. But I know better now. I know what sits beneath that surface, waiting for the right moment to break through. When his gaze finds me, it does not slide away this time. It holds. Steady. Intentional. A statement. The man from before is here too. I see him near the bar, speaking softly with someone I recognize from a rival operation. He glances in my direction, that same thin smile touching his mouth. He thinks he understands the situation. He thinks he has already figured out how to use it. He is wrong. I do not realize what is about to happen until it already has. The conversation around Sun Wu slows, then stops entirely. The shift moves through the room like a ripple, subtle at first, then undeniable. He steps away from the group without asking permission, without offering explanation, and starts walking toward me. Each step is measured, deliberate, impossible to ignore. People turn. Conversations falter. Attention follows him like it always does. Like it was designed to. My breath catches just for a second before I steady it. I do not move. I do not look away. If this is happening, then I am not going to shrink from it. He reaches me in a matter of seconds, but it feels longer. The space between us disappears, and suddenly, every eye in the room is on us. He does not speak right away. Instead, he reaches for my hand. It is the first time he has touched me. His fingers close around mine, firm, certain, like he has already made every decision that matters. I let the silence stretch, because I need it. I need space to think, to feel, to understand what standing here actually means. I tell him I am not afraid of him. The words come out steady, even though my pulse is anything but. His expression does not soften. If anything, it darkens. He tells me I should be, not as a threat, as a fact. In his world, nothing is simple, and nothing comes without consequence. If people believe I matter to him, they will use me. They will test him. They will try to break him through me. Then he finishes it. He says I am with him. The words land harder than anything else he could have said. Not because of what they mean to me, but because of what they mean to everyone else in that room. This is not a confession. This is a declaration. A claim made in front of people who understand exactly how dangerous that is. The reaction is immediate, even if no one says it out loud. I see it in the way shoulders tense, in the way eyes shift, in the way calculations start happening behind polite expressions. They all see the same thing now. a weakness, a leverage point, a way in. I feel it too. His grip tightens slightly, not enough to hurt, just enough to anchor. For a brief second, he leans closer, his voice dropping so only I can hear it. He tells me it is too late to step back now, that once something is seen, it cannot be unseen. That the moment he touched me, he crossed the line he had been holding for a year. I should panic. I should pull away. Instead, I lift my chin and meet his gaze, steady and unflinching. Because if I am going to stand in the middle of this war, I am not going to do it as something fragile. The music resumes. Conversations restart. The illusion of normal returns, but it is thinner now, stretched over something sharper underneath. Across the room, the man who threatened me earlier watches with new interest, his smile gone, replaced by something more focused, more dangerous. And in that moment, I understand the real question was never whether he would claim me. It is whether we can survive what that claim has just started. The moment the gala ends, the illusion collapses. Applause fades, conversations dissolve, and the carefully constructed mask of civility slips back into what this city truly is. I feel it the second we step out of the ballroom and into the private corridor reserved for people like him. The air is quieter here, but heavier, like every word carries weight. His hand does not leave mine immediately, and that alone tells me more than anything that happened inside. He made a public claim, and now he is deciding what that claim costs. I pull my hand back first, not abruptly, not dramatically, just enough to remind both of us that I am still standing on my own 2 feet. His gaze follows the movement, sharp and unreadable, but he does not stop me. That restraint again. Always that restraint, like he is holding something back with both hands. We walk in silence for a few steps before I speak. I ask him if he understands what he just did. My voice is calm, but there is an edge to it now, something that was not there before. He does not answer right away. Instead, he opens the door to his private office and gestures for me to enter. I hesitate for half a second, then step inside. If this conversation is going to happen, it will not happen in a hallway. The door closes behind us with a soft click that sounds louder than it should. He finally answers me then. He says he understands exactly what he did, that he made a statement no one in that room will ignore, that anyone who was uncertain before is certain now. I cross my arms, leaning back slightly, grounding myself in something solid. I tell him that certainty gets people killed, that he did not just paint a target on me, he outlined it in gold and handed it to every enemy he has. His expression does not change. He says they already saw me as leverage the moment they thought I mattered. That tonight did not create the threat. It clarified it. There is a difference, he says, between being a rumor and being a fact. Rumors invite curiosity. Facts invite action. I let that settle for a second. He is not wrong. That is the problem. I ask him what his plan is. Because this cannot just be a declaration without a strategy behind it. He does not build empires on impulse. He studies me for a long moment, like he is deciding how much to say, how much to let me see. Then he tells me something that shifts the ground under my feet again. He says the people who approached me tonight have already made their move. I feel my stomach tighten, but I keep my face steady. I ask him what that means. He steps closer, not enough to invade my space, but enough that I can feel the weight of his attention again. He says they wanted to see how he would react, whether he would deny it, whether he would distance himself, whether he would treat me like something disposable. Instead, he chose the opposite. He chose escalation. Let that sink in. In his world, hesitation is weakness. Distance is an invitation. So he gave them clarity. He made it impossible to misunderstand. If anyone touches me, it is not just a personal attack. It is a direct challenge to him. I should feel reassured, protected. Instead, I feel the full scope of what that means pressing in on me. Because challenges in his world are not handled quietly. They are answered. I tell him he could have left me out of it, that he could have kept me invisible, safe in the margins where no one looks too closely. His jaw tightens slightly, the first crack in his control I have seen since the gala. He says that was never an option, not after the ring. Not after he saw the possibility of losing me to someone else. There it is again. Not logic. Not strategy. Something else. I take a slow breath, forcing my thoughts into order. I tell him I am not something to be claimed like territory, that I did not agree to be part of his war. My voice does not shake. even though something inside me is dangerously close to doing exactly that. He listens, really listens this time, and for a moment, I think he might argue. He does not. Instead, he says something quieter. He says he knows. That is what unsettles me the most. Because if he knows, and he did it anyway, then this is not just about control. It is about choice. The silence stretches between us again, heavier now, filled with everything neither of us is saying. Outside, the city continues like nothing has changed, lights flashing, traffic moving, people laughing in places that pretend danger does not exist. But in here, everything is different. I ask him the question that has been sitting at the center of all of this. I ask him what happens next. He does not answer immediately. He turns slightly, looking out the window at the city he has built his power around. When he speaks, his voice is steady, certain in a way that makes it clear he has already thought this through. He says the next move will not be theirs. It will be his. I feel a chill run through me that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with understanding. This is where things stop being reactive and start becoming deliberate. Whatever he does next will not just be about protecting me. It will be about sending a message. And messages like that are never subtle. I step closer to the window beside him, looking out at the same city, trying to see it the way he does. As a board, as pieces, as moves waiting to be made. I ask him what kind of message he plans to send. This time, when he looks at me, there is no distance left. No restraint. Just that same intensity that has been building since the moment he saw the ring. He says he is going to remind them what happens when someone mistakes his restraint for weakness. The words settle into the room, heavy and final. And in that moment, I understand something I cannot unlearn. This is no longer about a misunderstanding. It is about a war that has already begun. And whether I wanted it or not, I am standing at the center of it. The city does not sleep after a declaration like that. It watches. It waits. And by morning, it responds. I feel it before I see it. The shift in energy that runs beneath everything like a current you cannot escape. My routine stays the same on the surface. I walk the same halls, give the same instructions, fix the same problems. But nothing is normal anymore. Every glance lasts a second too long. Every silence feels deliberate. News travels fast in Las Vegas, but power moves faster. By noon, the first ripple hits. One of the smaller businesses tied to the man who approached me at the gala shuts down without explanation. No warning. No public conflict. Just closed doors and unanswered calls. Staff dismissed. Accounts frozen. It is clean. Efficient. Surgical. Anyone who understands this world knows exactly what it means. A message has been sent. I stand in my office, looking at the report, and feel a strange mix of relief and unease settle in my chest. He told me he would move first. He did not lie. The problem is that I understand what comes after the first move. There is always a response. There is always escalation. When I see Sun Woo again, he looks exactly the same as he always does. Composed. Controlled. Untouched by consequences that are already unfolding around him. If anything, he seems calmer, like clarity has replaced whatever restraint he was holding on to before. I close the door behind me and hold his gaze, refusing to pretend this is anything less than what it is. I ask him if it is done. He tells me it has started. That distinction matters more than I want it to. I step closer, my voice lower now, not because I am afraid, but because this is no longer a conversation meant for anyone else. I tell him people are going to get hurt, that whatever line existed before is gone. He studies me for a moment, and I see it again. Not doubt, not hesitation, just certainty shaped into something sharp. He says they made their choice the moment they decided to use me. And now he has made his. The weight of that settles into me slowly, like something heavy sinking beneath the surface. I realize then that there is no version of this where things go back to what they were. No quiet resolution. No safe distance. The moment he reached for my hand in that ballroom, everything changed, and there is no undoing it. I should walk away. I should create distance, rebuild the line that was there before any of this started. That would be the logical choice. The safe choice. But logic has never survived long in a world like his, and safety was already an illusion the second someone decided I could be used against him. I take a breath, steadying myself, and meet his gaze without looking away. I tell him I am still here. Not because I do not understand the risk. Not because I think this will be easy. but because somewhere between the silence, the tension, and the moment he chose not to let go, I stopped being able to pretend this was just a job. Something shifts in his expression then. Not softer, not weaker, just real in a way it has not been before. He steps closer, not hesitating this time, and when his hand finds mine again, there is no restraint left in it. Outside, the city continues to move, lights flashing over deals, lies, and quiet betrayals. Inside, everything has narrowed to a single truth I cannot ignore. Love, in a world like this, is not a weakness you survive. It is a war you either win or it destroys you. So tell me, if you knew loving someone could cost you everything, would you still choose it anyway? In the end, nothing about this story feels clean or simple. The war does not end with one move, and love does not soften the damage it brings. It only makes every consequence sharper. I still walk those same halls, still carry the same calm on the surface, but now I understand what it costs. Every glance, every silence, every step beside him means something. We did not choose an easy path. We chose each other in a world that punishes that kind of choice. And maybe that is the truth no one tells you. Sometimes love is not about peace. Sometimes it is about standing your ground when everything around you is ready to burn. If this story pulled you in, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments. Would you stay? Or would you walk away before it is too late?